So what's up, everybody? Art Rooney had an interview yesterday. A lot of breaking news came out from the interview yesterday. A lot of media outlets putting out the news that came from the internet from the interview. And I want to talk about one of the biggest things that came out from the interview is Art Rooney came out and said that he sees Mike Tomlin as being the future head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He sees him in the long-term future for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So to me, this deal's got to get done in the offseason. This is a big priority for the Pittsburgh Steelers is to get this deal done in the offseason for Mike Tomlin. Period. Point blank. Plain and simple. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, one of the highest win-loss percentages in the NFL, has the second highest win-loss percentage in the NFL in the past 2 years. So usually the Steelers always extend their coach when they have 1 year left on their contract. So to me, I don't see how after a 12-4 season, even though it was a disappointing one and done against the Cleveland Browns, I don't see how the Pittsburgh Steelers cannot extend Mike Tomlin after the season. That's usually the MO for the Steelers, and I think it's going to get done. Art Rooney said he wants that to get done, and obviously he deserves to be one of the highest paid coaches in the league. Period. Deserves to be one of the highest paid coaches in the league. So, yeah, if you're looking at the salaries in the NFL right now, I mean, Tomlin has a better win-loss percentage than Pete Carroll. He's right there with Pete Carroll by almost the same amount of wins, and Pete Carroll has coached more years in the NFL than Mike Tomlin. Pete Carroll's making $11 million a year. John Gruden got a 10-year, 100 million dollar contract, putting him at $10 million per year. And John Gruden has failed to produce a winning record since he's been with the Oakland Raiders for 4 years. He's been there with 4 years. He hasn't had a winning record yet. His best record was last season at 8-8. Jack Del Rio did better with the Oakland Raiders than John Gruden. So John Gruden's making $10 million. Sean Payton's making $9 million per year. Tomlin's sitting down there. His current contract is $7 million per year. I think he's a better coach than Sean Payton. I think he's definitely a better coach than John Gruden, better coach than Pete Carroll. John Harbaugh's making $7 million per year. In Kansas City, Andy Reid is making $7.5 million a year. So to me, you got to put him in that Sean Payton, John Gruden range, right around there. Tomlin needs to get like an $8.5 million deal. You put him right in that range. Mike Tomlin needs to get extended in this offseason. That's period, point blank. I don't care what nobody says. There's so many Tomlin haters out there from the mainstream media. Colin Cowherd was, one of the ones that started that narrative saying that he's an underachiever, this and that. But the dude's never had a losing season. I mean, you know how hard that is, especially in the salary cap era. You're not going to win a Super Bowl every year. I know the Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to come back and say, this is the city of Pittsburgh. We want Super Bowls. It's not about playoff appearances. It's not about regular season wins. We got to win the Super Bowl every year, this and that. This is a salary cap era. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys hasn't won a Super Bowl since the salary cap era started. It's hard to win Super Bowls. It's hard to retain high-priced talent. I mean, players are going to go elsewhere. And you just look at last season. I mean, we went 8-8 with a practice squad quarterback. So Mike Tomlin is a motivator. Look at this season. We had very big key injuries. Devin Bush, Bud Dupree. He had Spillane go in there, an undrafted player, come in there and fill in very well for Bud Dupree, who was a first-round draft pick, not Bud Dupree, Devin Bush, who, we moved up to go up and get in the draft, moved up a few spots and got Devin Bush. And, Spillane came in, filled in very well. And Devin Bush, I think, that's one of the best players on the defense, going to be one of the best players on defense. It was only his second year last year. Dude has this amazing sideline-to-sideline speed, solid in coverage. I mean, there's not too many middle linebackers that got that speed that Devin Bush has, and we was still able to have a great defense this year with him going down and Bud Dupree going down and Tyson Alualu. We had injuries on the defense this year. Mike Hilton was hurt a lot this year. Joe Hayden was on the COVID list. And the defense still played great all year. So, that was one of the big narratives that Tomlin couldn't build a defense. Tomlin couldn't build a team. This is Tomlin's team right now. This is Tomlin's 12-4 team. Other than Ben, there's no other player that's been on a Cowher team. And Tomlin took over, a Cowher team that was 8-8, and the defense, let's be honest, it was aging. And that Cowher team that won the Super Bowl, it was built around that offensive line. You're talking Alan Faneca, Marvell Smith, Kendall Simmons, Jeff Hardings, Max Starks. There was 3 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line the year Cowher won the Super Bowl, and they were after Tomlin took over. It was all kind of past their prime. We started losing talent on defense, and he had to rebuild that defense and rebuild that offensive line. He rebuilt that offensive line to one of the best offensive lines in the league. Now he rebuilt the defense to one of the best defenses in the league. We got to get a little bit better on the offensive line, but I still think we have a solid team. Yeah, we're losing some free agents, but we got a ton of draft picks to where we can fill them in, and I think we can keep the ball rolling. I feel we can go into next season and be just as good, right? Maybe not just as good, maybe a loss or two more than a 12-4 season. Because at the end of the day, a 12-4 season is amazing. I don't care how you spin it. 12-4 is amazing. We won the AFC North, and there's so many Tomlin haters in Steeler Nation that I just don't understand the Tomlin hate. This dude deserves to be one of the highest paid coaches in the league, period. The record speaks for itself. Second best win-loss percentage in the NFL in the past decade. Pay this man the money he deserves. I'm tired of the mainstream media getting down on Mike Tomlin. I'm tired of all the other clowns on here at YouTube. And there's one specific Cleveland clown fan that loves to hate on Mike Tomlin, which is just a joke. It's just a joke. I mean, even there's so many Steeler fans that I've argued with on social media, Twitter, this and that, over and over and over again about Mike Tomlin. I've been telling them, Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Famer. Mike Tomlin wins another Super Bowl, he's surefire Hall of Famer. This dude can coach 10, 15 more years. He'll go down as one of the most winningest coaches in the history of the NFL. So Art Rooney said he feels that Mike Tomlin is in the future plans for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I believe that a deal is going to get done in the offseason. This isn't no inside source, but that's normally what the Steelers do when their coaches, especially head coaches, have 1 year left on their deal. They extend him. So I can honestly see them giving him like a 3-year extension added on at the tune of like $8.5, $9 million per year, which he's earned. Plain and simple, period, point blank. So let's see what some of you people have to say. That's a good one, dude. Facts. Remember when you said the Steelers are Baker Mayfield's dad? We are Baker Mayfield's dad. What you talking about, dude? We are Baker Mayfield's dad. The Steelers are the Cleveland Browns' dad. I mean, for the past, 20 years, we've just pretty much put the Browns over our knee and spanked them like a little toddler. You should do a mock draft. I'm going to do a mock draft probably after the Super Bowl. Stop drinking your own Kool-Aid. Dude, Brandon, Mike Tomlin is way better than Pete Carroll. So you can just take that to the bank. Brandon, he barely cracks top 10. Ash Rader, he should be your coach, John Gruden, is making $10 million per year. Tomlin should be way higher paid than John Gruden. John Gruden is the biggest scrub, the most overpaid, the worst contract in the history of the league. The worst contract in the history of the league. Seriously, that is the worst coaching contract in the history of the league, Ash Rader. John Gruden is a bum, a bust, hasn't even had a winning season yet. Beat us 3 or 4 times, and the Browns are better than us. The Browns ain't better than us. The Browns are they had a good year. Okay. The Browns have like 17 players on their free agent list. So the Browns are going to lose a ton of talent. Who knows what's going to happen to Odell Beckham? Yeah, they got a good offensive line. They got a good run game. I think Kareem Hunt is a free agent too. So we'll see what they can do with Kareem Hunt. If I'm Kareem Hunt, I'm trying to get a ton of money. I'm not 100% if Kareem's a free agent or not, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. They got a good offense. They still got to rebuild that defense. That defense, they're losing talent on defense. So, and the whole thing with Cleveland is the Dorseys, they don't want to spend money. So Cleveland, they'll never be good. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It's all about ownership. The Dorseys are kind of like the Bob Nutting of the Pittsburgh Pirates, because the Dorseys, they don't want to spend no money. They had the most salary cap in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And they could have went out there. They could have signed Earl Thomas. They could have signed Jadeveon Clowney. They could have signed so much more talent to help that defense to put Cleveland over the hump. But guess what? Those Dorseys, they didn't spend that money. They don't want to shell out that dough. So Cleveland, they'll always be a bottom barrel franchise because of ownership. So yeah, Cleveland can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but Cleveland, nah. So I got to get that. I got a little Cleveland Browns fan in my comments. So, I got to just preach the facts about Cleveland and what a trash organization they are. And pretty much we'll always be a trash organization, and we'll always be the little brother. It's going to take decades. Let's be honest. It's going to take decades for y'all to even tie the series between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, because we've put you over our knee and spanked you like a toddler, okay? Because that's what Cleveland is, a toddler. They made a big deal because he's staying where he grew up. If anything, I hope Chubb becomes a free agent. I mean, if they'd be crazy not to sign Chubb, but their defense is trash at the end of the day. So I had to talk about this. Mike Tomlin should be one of the highest paid coaches in the league. Should be right around the Sean Payton range. He should get like $8.5, $9 million a year, especially if John Gruden's making $10 million a year. They got to get this deal done. I personally believe that the deal will get done this offseason. Like I said, probably like a 3-year extension. I'd say anywhere from $9.5 to $10 million a year. He should be higher paid than John Gruden. But, I mean, that's just because the Raiders are just another joke of an organization, kind of like the Cleveland Browns, who go out there, sign John Gruden, some scrub whose only Super Bowl he won was with a Tony Dungy team. So, John Gruden's another overrated bum who's pretty much has a career mediocre 500 record. Tomlin's career win-loss percentage is like 0.645. Like John Gruden has like a career 500 record, a little bit over 500. Tomlin's just astronomically. His win-loss percentage is just light years ahead of John Gruden. Has more all-time wins than John Gruden. John Gruden's just ridiculously overpaid. So we'll see. McVay's better. McVay's never even won a Super Bowl. Sean Payton ain't better. Pete Carroll ain't better. Bruce Arians is better. Come on, man. You're crazy. Ron Rivera? Come on, dude. Sean McVay is the most overrated coach in the history of the league, man. It has another overrated guy, Sean McVay, dude. What has he done? He's never even won a Super Bowl. But he's top 5 coach in the NFL. You want to talk about Kool-Aid drinking? Brandon Rodgers was talking about Kool-Aid drinking. That's some Kool-Aid drinking. The overrated hype that Sean McVay's been getting for years. It's crazy, man. It's ridiculous. Sean McVay, he ain't even top 10. I didn't see the Senior Bowl. Harbaugh was going to get fired before. I mean, Harbaugh's a good coach. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, you can make a case between Harbaugh. He's up there. Harbaugh's up there. Reed's up there. I mean, Pete Carroll and Sean Payton are up there. But Tomlin's got a better win-loss percentage than both those guys and is going to pass them in all-time wins. Bruce Arians, that's just ridiculous. Ron Rivera has never even won a Super Bowl. It's only been the one. Tomlin's been to 2, won 1. So, come on, man. Josh Jacobs telling Sean McVay went to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff as his quarterback. Jared Goff had a pretty good year this year, and he had Todd Gurley, who was basically one of the best backs in the league at the time, and a good defense. So I had to go on a Tomlin rant. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for making things interesting, chat. It is what it is. It's all love, but, it is what it is. Sean McVay, overrated. Come on, dude. Come on. Not top 5. Win a Super Bowl, then you're top 5. Andy Reid. Here, I'll do. Here's mine. Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, John Harbaugh. That's my top. Those are my top coaches. And the Browns is the Browns. That's the best way to end this one. The Browns is the Browns. The Browns is the Browns. Ali, you should check out some of these dudes. Ash Raider does live streams. Real Shit's a live streamer. There's some other live streamers up in here. Brandon Rogers. I mean, there's a lot of people that do live streams that you can get in on Ali the Reaper if you want to, that do a lot more longer live streams than me. I'm not the best live streamer in the world. There's a lot of people that do live streams. It's TTC's type of stuff. I don't know if you want to get into that, Ali the Reaper, but, there's a lot of outlets you can go to help promote your channel, dude. But Ali's been on my channel before. Steeler fan, so he's starting to make videos now. Check him out. Real Shit's another Steeler fan, getting all the people in their feelings in the TTC. So, yeah, I had to go on a Tomlin rant. There's a lot of big news coming through the Steelers. I mean, they said they're not bringing back James Conner. TJ Watt won Defensive Player of the Year. There's a lot of other news. What I've been reading is they're talking how they're going to restructure Tuitt and Hayward's contract to free up from Steelers Depot. That's what I read from Steelers Depot, that they're probably going to try to restructure that. They possibly could extend David DeCastro and Steven Nelson to, cut some of that salary cap to kick it down to the next season. So we'll see how they all play this out. We'll see how they work out this Ben contract. So basically, from what I'm reading, a tweet that Bob Pompiani put out today, basically they said that they can, if they extend Ben multiple years, they can get his salary down to like ridiculously low and then kick it down to like 2-3 years if that's how they want to extend him. If they want to extend him 2-3 years, do the Steelers want to extend Ben 2-3 years? I don't know. But if they can get Ben's salary hit down to like $1 million, then maybe all this salary cap shit I've been talking about, it could be a whole new ball game. Then we could bring a Bud Dupree back. Then we could bring a Juju Smith-Schuster. Another thing Art Rooney said is with the James Conner thing and him getting cut, he basically said that there's going to be changes made to the run game. So I don't know if that means they're going to try to find somebody in free agency, if they're looking at Najee Harris, because I did see a report that the Steelers have been looking in very closely to Najee Harris. So maybe that is the guy that they have number one on their board, is Najee Harris out of Alabama, which would be amazing pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you've been asking me that. I am going to do a mock draft. It's not going to be a live thing. There is this site, mockdraftsimulator.com, to where I'm going to be doing mock drafts. I'll do multiple mock drafts. They're probably not going to be live. It'll just be like videos, 5-10 minute videos, and I will do quite a few mock drafts. So yes, no problem, dude. It's all good, man. It's all good. You're entitled to your opinion, but I've been saying that for a while, that I think McVay's overrated. And the first time that as soon as they gave John Gruden that contract, I was like, that's crazy that they gave him that much money. He's overpaid, my guy. I'm sorry. Good luck to your Raiders next year. I mean, you got a lot of you got Josh Jacobs, you got Carr, you got some young receivers, you got a good offensive line. You got to get that defense right. And I mean, you got to deal with Mahomes for a really long time, and Herbert's looking like he's on the come up too. So, that's a competitive division. I think the Broncos suck though. So, yeah, I'm going to end this though. Shout out to everybody joining. Appreciate it.